I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. Haason Reddick skips Jets mandatory minicamps. So did Aaron Rodgers. We're going to be discussing it all. Call in 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639. Give me 1 second, folks. Connect the audio and we'll get to it. Hold on.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it, back at it, back at it again. Your boy's back at it again, man. Listen, we've got so much to discuss. Hey, Blog Talk is working. I'm shocked, all right? Whoa. As we know, Blog Talk sucks. Okay, before we really get going, let me flush Blog Talk, all right? Oh. Jeez. Come on, Blog Talk. Get it together. You know, you work when you feel like it. That's garbage, okay? We need to talk to the savages. We need you to work on the daily, all right? But we'll get to Bash and Blog Talk as the show continues. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. We'll come to y'all in just a second. Let me get into the show because I am so fired up. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook. Search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I truly, truly do. All right. Your boy's also on Twitter as well. Go on over to Twitter. Okay. Type in at The Long Beach Joe. At The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Okay. Follow me. I'll follow you right back. And go ahead and talk to me. You know, I host a lot of arguments on Twitter and a lot of arguments in my DMs as well. Listen, I want to talk. I want to have the discussion. There's a lot of people that want to have the argument. I have no issues with that either. Again, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Go ahead and follow your boy and talk, and let's go back and forth. I'm also on iTunes as well. For those of you that may not know, okay, outside of just being on Blog Talk Radio, again, Blog Talk Radio, backslash The Long Beach Joe Show. We're also on iTunes as well, at The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Go ahead and follow or subscribe, to the podcast on iTunes. And leave me a 5-star rating and give me some feedback, okay? I want to thank everybody that does that. Also, again, want to thank everybody that listens to me, no matter where you're from, okay? No matter where you're from, no matter how you catch up to me, no matter how you tune in to my content, I want to thank you, all right? But again, I especially want to thank all the overseas folks. It's crazy, okay? All the folks from UK, London, Germany, Australia, okay? Man, I really, it's crazy that that people so far away from me listen to me, but I truly enjoy y'all support, and I want to thank y'all for listening to your boy as well. It's greatly appreciated. I'm always shocked. I'm shocked, okay? So again, please, iTunes, The Long Beach Joe Show, subscribe to the podcast, 5-star rating, give me some feedback. For those of you that may not know, okay, your boy's on YouTube as well, We live stream the show on YouTube, okay? A lot of people catch up to it, and they go, whoa, Joe, you're looking good, man. We like hearing your takes, but we didn't know you were so handsome. Listen, ladies, thank you, okay? I just work with what I got, okay? I just work with what I've got, all right? That's all I do, all right? And I want to thank y'all for noticing that, and I appreciate you. You folks are beautiful as well, all right? But understand when you come over to the YouTube, okay, and you watch the live streams, you're going to have to deal with some people, man. You're going to have to deal with the chat. And I call them the Savages. You want to know why? Because they're savage. Savage! Listen, man, those people don't give a crap, okay? If they don't like your takes, if they don't like what you're bringing to the table, they're going to let you know, okay? No one's safe, not even me. Not even me, all right? No one is safe, all right? Salutes to all the Savages. Dano, I see you. Michael, I see you in the building. Michael Piper salutes. He says Blog Talk sucks. That's a fact. He also says Blog Talk is sponsored by 2000 Flushes. Another fact. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. All right. Going back and forth. Please put your questions in the chat. Also, again, where lines are hot. Lines are live. Okay. 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number to call in. When you call in, please be patient. We get to everybody, okay? I can see you, all right? For my new callers, I can physically see you, and I will come to you. And when I come to you, please know what your area code is, all right? Because that's what I'm going to call you out by your area code, all right? But again, to all the Savages in the chat, put your thoughts and your questions in the chat. We'll go back and forth that way as well. In between the calls. So we got quite a bit to discuss here, okay? And we're going to get through these topics. As everyone knows, OTAs ended, and now we've moved on to mandatory minicamps, which started today. And for me, I had a lot of questions going into mandatory minicamps. But one of the questions that I had was Haason Reddick, right? That was one of the big questions for me. Again, everybody knows the Jets traded for Haason Reddick, from the Eagles. I believe it was in March. It was like March 29th or something like that. Joe Douglas got him for a third-round pick. That's conditional. It can turn into a second-rounder if he has 67.5% playing time and he has 10 sacks, okay? Now, with that, we know we let go of Huff. There was a lot of people upset about that. Huff, the Eagles snatched Huff up so fast. There was a lot of thoughts about illegal tampering. There was a lot of people upset about how fast Bryce Huff became an Eagle, okay? I'm telling you, it was like free agency started. He woke up from a nap, and he was already in Philadelphia. All right? He was already in Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia staff there just handed him a jersey, and he just went on to their facility. Like, that's how fast, okay, all of that happened, all right? But, we let go Huff. He signed with the Eagles for $17 million. And, eventually we ended up trading for Haason Reddick. Now, we all know, right? Or we all knew that when Haason came into the building, when the Jets traded for him, and salutes to Bree, I see you in the building, he was on the last year of a deal, man. He was on the last year of a deal with the Eagles, and he's due $14.25 million last year of the deal. Now, it's been talked about that's why the Eagles were okay with moving on from him, okay? Because they were so enamored. They were so enamored with Bryce Huff and him rising and the potential of a young guy like him and what he would be able to do with their defense. They said to themselves, hey, if we end up losing Haason, then it is what it is. We want to move forward with this young guy that's ascending, right? Now, it's been talked about that he wants a new deal, and that, could be a hindrance, right, going forward. So the Eagles ended up dealing him because of that. Now, he got here, and so far with the New York Jets, even though, again, everybody was excited, I was excited that we got Haason Reddick, especially after losing Huff. He didn't attend any of the voluntary stuff. None of it, okay? As a matter of fact, Coach Sulla sat down with the media recently and spoke about this. When the media asked him about this situation, Sulla initially, talked about it and said, hey, that he hadn't been there all spring. And at that time, he hadn't had any contact with, Haason Reddick. He hadn't spoken to him at all, since everything had started with the voluntary stuff, which was shocking, okay? Which was shocking at the time. Now, since then, Sulla has reached out to him over the weekend, and they've had a discussion, and we'll get into that in a second. Now, here's the thing, right? We know that Haason wants a new contract. It's very obvious, okay? He missed out on a $250,000 workout bonus. Anybody know that? By not going to the voluntary stuff, he missed out on $250,000. That is crazy to me and you, right? But he wants a deal, okay? He wants a deal, and it's pretty evident. And I was wondering before Tuesday, hey, is this guy going to show up? Is he going to be there? Is this going to continue to linger and continue to go on? Well, you look at Tuesday, here it comes, and he's missed mandatory minicamps. It's looking like he's not going to show up for that, and he is, subject to be fined. Okay, and we know that, right? Because missing mandatory minicamps for him, it could be more than $50,000 that he could end up being fined. Okay, for not showing up to mandatory minicamps. I was hoping that he would, because it would show, a good effort, good faith going forward, especially, again, he's here with a new team. And it would also show that he kind of believed that Joe Douglas would be able to get the job done, would make sure that he was taken care of. And here we are, no Haason Reddick, and it's starting to rev up a little bit here, where you're starting to wonder what's going to happen going forward with Haason Reddick and the New York Jets. Is this contract situation going to continue to be strung out, right? Immediately, there's a lot of Jets fans that I've been talking to. They just went off on Joe Douglas. And I understand that perspective, okay? There's a lot of Jets fans going, well, why the heck would you trade for Haason Reddick on the last year of his deal and not either get the deal done before the trade or already have something in place so that you don't end up in this situation, which is a realistic perspective. I'm not going to bash her having that perspective. That's logical. Well, there's been reports coming out that the Jets had talked to Haason Reddick's camp before the trade was made with the Eagles. Of course, the Eagles gave the Jets permission to do so. And that, from Reddick's side, he definitely made it known that he wanted a new deal, and that the Jets from the Jets side, they let, his side know, hey, look, we're not going to shut the door on getting an extension done with you, but we kind of want to wait. We want to get you into the building, I'm guessing see what's going on this upcoming season, and then we'll look to take care of you. And I guess that was received well, at least the Jets felt it was at the time, and the Jets felt comfortable going forward with the trade. They did so, thinking they were on solid footing, but here we are with Haason Reddick not at minicamp, right? At mandatory minicamps. Here we are. We're sitting here now. And I'm wondering what's going to happen going forward with this situation. Because, Joe Douglas can be stubborn. And he's not a guy that just doles out a lot of money, especially with some of the guys that we have coming up as well, right? DJ Reed, Michael Carter II. You got Sauce Garner, is going to be eligible for new deals. I believe Garrett Wilson is up there as well, guy eligible for a new deal. It's a lot of things going on. And I'm wondering what the plan will be with Haason Reddick. He's in the building. And especially when you look at the situation where the second that we got him, is going to be a big piece of the New York Jets defense, right? Right? That's once we let Bryce Huff go, it was like, okay, well, who's the next guy? And there was a lot of talk about Will McDonald and, having to step up, and the pressure was on him and everything. And then the Jets made the trade for the electric man, right? Haason Reddick. And that pressure just kind of subsided on Will McDonald. And everybody was saying, hey, we'll see what happens with Will, but he can take the next step and he can kind of ease into this role because we got Haason Reddick, a guy that has been phenomenal, right? To believe the last 4 years he's had double-digit sacks. Like, this guy's putting things together. He's one of the better pass rushers in the league, for sure. There's no denying this. And so everybody was saying, hey, look, he steps into our defense. He's going to be a starter, of course, and he's going to put some things together for us. We were all excited, and here we are wondering about what's going to happen with this deal and how long it's going to play out. Could this play out into the season? If he's willing to miss $250,000 workout bonus and get fined in mandatory minicamps and miss, probably $50,000 more, I'm wondering if this situation could end up to him holding out into the season. I'm wondering. I could see it happening. And that's the thing that really starts to worry me, because this is a season that has a lot of big expectations on it. I mean, I don't really have to tell y'all, right? A lot of Jets fans, and including myself, are expecting playoffs. We expect a big jump forward, right? We all do. Heck, there's Jets fans. I want to see playoffs. There's Jets fans that are saying Super Bowl or bust is what they're saying. Super Bowl or bust. Get it done or clear out the whole staff. There's a lot of Jets fans screaming that as well. A lot of Jets fans screaming that. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're going to be talking about this. And so with all of that on the table, man, with all of that on the table, do you want to have to deal with this type of distraction? This is something that can really hurt the New York Jets going forward, especially if he ends up, possibly holding out and maybe missing games. Is this something that you want? And I don't think it is, especially when the goal, the focus is to finish and finally get that trophy, finally get what we need, man. I don't like this distraction. And again, this situation also amps up the pressure on Will McDonald, because if Haason Reddick is not out there, he's pushed back into that role. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, you better have double-digit sacks this next year. You better be putting things together, because if not, Jets fans are going to scream that you're a bust from the high heavens. Again, we'll get to the lines in just a second. Rusty, I see you in the building. We coming to you. I want to hear from you. New callers, hold on. We'll get to everybody. Trust. 515-602-9639. So I'm wondering, what's going to happen going forward with this situation with Reddick, because I don't want this to play out for too long. I really, really don't. And another thing that can end up happening as well, right? Let's say that Haason Reddick does show up, training camps, doesn't hold out, says, okay, boom, I'm going to go into this season, right? And I'm going to ball out. I'm going to do my thing. Let's say Joe Douglas does, stay stubborn like we've known Joe to do, okay? He's a great general manager, but we've seen him be stubborn, okay? And let's say Haason Reddick goes into the year and plays unbelievably well, has 18 sacks, something like that, right? 15, 18 sacks. Goes off, has a great year. The Jets achieve great things. And then at the end of the year, the Jets try to work out a deal with him. It is going to be a issue and a half trying to get him re-signed, because that price tag is going to go up. And what's crazy about this situation is that's the exact same thing that happened with Bryce Huff. It's the same thing. Everybody was screaming, including myself, get Bryce Huff a deal done before this season starts. When the season was going on, everybody was saying, hey, Joe Douglas, Jets front office, get the deal done during this season. Do not let this season end without this man having a deal, because it's going to be a headache and a half to get him re-signed. Because by then, the league is going to be paying great attention to him. We knew that he was going to put stuff together. He was looking like a monster in the preseason. We knew that Bryce Huff was going to ball. We knew that. Okay? We knew that. Jets mess, I see you salutes. And he got away. And a lot of people thought that he wasn't going to get what he actually got, which is $17 million. There's a lot of people that were like, no, he's not going to get that. It's going to $17 million a season. If Haason Reddick comes out and balls out, it's going to be crazy to see how Joe Douglas is going to be able to get him re-signed. It could get even nastier. So I want him to get this deal done. I don't want the distractions to continue. I don't want you to end up at the end of the season having to worry about, I just get him a new deal. It doesn't have to be something crazy long extension. Try to work something out to keep this guy, happy, keep him a Jet for a couple years, and get him out there on that field. I don't want the drama to continue. I really don't. All right. Hopefully, while this show is live, he can be signed. All right. All right. Hopefully that can happen. Again, things move very fast, and we'll see. All right. And again, with all this going on with Haason, this puts a lot of pressure on Will McDonald. As we continue, we'll be talking about that again. 515-602-9639. Aaron Rodgers as well missed camp. He missed mandatory mini camps as well. It's crazy. Okay. Aaron Rodgers is not attending. It's because he has a previous engagement. This is what Sulla told us. He has a previous engagement and an event that is important to him. All right. Now, of course, Sulla went on to say that he's not disappointed by Rodgers' absence, even though it's unexcused. He let them know it. He let them know. Unexcused doesn't mean he just didn't show up and nobody knows where he's at. No, he let them know ahead of time that, hey, I've got this, whatever the event is, I need to be there. But, you know, they said, hey, we'd like you to be here. I'm guessing that's why they're saying it's unexcused. Okay. So he is subject to a fine as well. We'll see if the Jets end up fining him. But, you know, we know that Aaron Rodgers has also been at voluntary stuff from the day that he's got here. He's been working hard. And so, you know, there are some Jets fans, though, that I've talked to that have said they're upset about that as well, that they believe that it shows a lack of focus. I'm not saying that. I am just saying what I've heard from other Jets fans. I'm not in love with him missing mandatory mini camps, but whatever the event is, he had to be there. Okay, whatever, right? But we'll be talking about that too. As far as mandatory mini camps, some of the things that we've been seeing. Listen, Garrett Wilson looking smooth out there, baby. He's looking smooth as usual, all right? Makai Corley out there as well, looking shifty. Saw him looking really good in drills. Breece Hall was dealing with a leg injury. There was also reports that Morgan Moses and AVT will be ready for training camp, okay? They will be ready for training camp. So that's a really good look for the New York Jets. Mike Williams as well. A lot of talk about him. Mike Williams is on the Breece Hall schedule, okay? That's what was talked about by, I believe it was Sulla. And Mike Williams is probably not going to be at camp, but he's going to be, you know, ready for the season, which is going to be very, very interesting. Because if he's not going to be ready to the season, right, ready to go, ready to get out there, put that uniform on and get out in the field, that means he's going to have to, you know, kind of get back into football shape. I'm not saying that Mike Williams is going to be wildly out of shape, but we saw it from Breece. There was a run early in the season where Breece could have took off. And normally if Breece had been, you know, fully back to himself, that would have easily have been a touchdown. I forgot what game it was in, but he kind of ran out of gas at the end of it and was able to be tackled by a defender from behind. That was, I believe Garrett Wilson should have blocked as well on that play, but he was busy celebrating because Breece looked like he was going to take off and be gone, but Breece was still working to get back into himself. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting with that as well, especially when we're talking about Mike Williams and his importance to the New York Jets offense, right? Because that number 2 spot's wide open, especially with Allen Lazard being stinky, okay? And we'll talk about him at some point this offseason too, because there's a lot of people that want to get rid of him, even though we can't because of the cap implications. He does suck, but I don't think the Jets are going to cut him because of cap implications. But Mike Williams, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how he works himself back into the situation, especially with the new offense here as well. So we'll be talking about that tonight. Leke Fotu as well is dealing with an undisclosed injury, so hopefully he's going to be able to get back. There's a lot of talk surrounding Keith Carter as well. Keith Carter, the New York Jets offensive line coach that everyone hates. Everyone hates Keith Carter, man. Mekhi Becton couldn't stand him. Even Breece Hall had, you know, kind of poked some fun at him as well on social media. You got some Titans players that couldn't stand him as well. It was Taylor Lewan. It was rough, okay? Everyone hated Keith Carter, all right? And Keith Carter spoke to the media, and, you know, he had some things to say about how he's trying to make some changes, man, and he's trying to evolve as a coach. He said, hey, we've got to be men of our word. We're asking our players to constantly improve and get better. So do we as coaches. I am a hard charger, he said. I'm a yeller, even sometimes when I don't mean to be. So I'm focused on making sure that my timing is right and I do it in the right way. He even sought out, you know, advice from mentors like Tom Cable, you know. Tom Cable's a good coach. And he's going to try to change his style and figure things out. And that bodes well for him and the New York Jets, of course, right? Because if you have issues relating to players, you're going to have issues teaching players, and you're going to have issues getting players to do what you want to do. All right? You're going to have, if you have issues connecting with players in today's game, that will get you up out of here. All right? Seriously. We've seen coaches, look at Tom Coughlin, right? Tom Coughlin with the Giants, I remember there were players that came out and talked about how they could not stand him. They couldn't stand him, right? He went in the booth, figured some things out, right? Took a look at himself and changed some things up and was able to really do some things after that, right? But there were players that could not stand the way that he dealt with things, whether it be practices or the way he coached, the way he talked to them, and he switched some things up and was able to do some things there with the Giants, right? You look at guys like Rex Ryan. Why was Rex Ryan so successful here with the New York Jets? It was because players loved him. They would run through a wall for him. We saw it. He was on Hard Knocks. We also saw the success, 2 AFC championships back to back, right? We saw that, and it's because he related to the players, and he was able to get the best out of him because they believed that Rex, was a guy that they would go to war with. They talked about it. He was going to be in the foxhole with them, and they wanted to do everything that they could to ensure that, there was success under him. So it's good to hear that Keith Carter is, doing things to change things around and become a better coach. All right. We'll be talking about that. Also, there's been players that have been invited to Jets minicamp. All right. Wide receiver, kick returner, Jakeem Grant. That's very interesting. All right. This is a guy that can put some things together as a kick returner. All right. D tackle Taurus McKinley. Pat Elfin as well, offensive lineman. Corey Luciano. All right. Jeremy Lewis and Olin Manning. Okay. So those are some of the guys that have been invited to Jets minicamp. We're going to be having some discussions tonight. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Okay. Again, please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. All right. Also, please, again, share the content across your social media. All right. Again, when you call in, just keep in mind, I do not allow cursing on my show. It's literally the only rule, all right? Don't curse on my show. I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than we got Adam Gase out of here. Oh. Want to talk about a coach that couldn't relate to players. Jeez Louise. They couldn't stand him when he was a Dolphin. I can't stand the Dolphins. Then he got here and he just continued to stunk it up. He was awful. There was Jets players coming out. I remember. He sucked. His offenses were terrible too. He's got to get it together, man. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're getting to the callers. Also, Savages, again, put your questions and thoughts in the chat. I will come to y'all, okay, in between calls. Salutes to Bree. Savage. He says, unbelievable. Keith Carter still has a job. Bree says, unbelievable. Keith Carter still has a job. Unbelievably unfortunate that job is with us. And he means with the Jets. Wow. Bree sounding off. Sounding off. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. First caller we're going to Rusty, man. 609 will come to you in a second. Hold on. But we got to get to Rusty. For those of you that do not know Rusty, he's a savage. Savage! Rusty, salutes.
Salutes, Joe. Salutes, fellow savages.
Listen, salutes, Rusty. There's a lot to discuss tonight, and I definitely want to have the discussion with you. Listen, thank you for calling in. It's always good to hear from you. I'm going to start straight up, man. Mandatory minicamps roll around. No Haason Reddick. Man, what are your thoughts about this situation? At this point, do you think it was a major mistake for Douglas to trade for Reddick, knowing that he wanted a new contract?
It wasn't too smart when we already had Huff, but I see where he was coming from. But I was like, I was with you and a lot of Jets fans too. I know a lot of people are surprisingly happy to see Huff leave, but we created that monster, and just to let him walk like that, and then to get the contract he did at Philly, it's weird to me. And then I don't know, someone's got to send Riddick like I don't know what do they call them in Jersey? Pork rolls. They're gonna send him a pork roll. Maybe he'll show up to camp. You know,
You better send him
I call
something.
them egg sandwiches, if that's what they call them in Jersey.
Yeah, I mean,
they better.
for the longest, they didn't even have contact with him. He wasn't even talking to Sulla. I know that they've spoken since this weekend. They've had some type of contact since this past weekend.
At least it's something, I guess.
Yeah, but man, oh man, this situation just continues to get drawn out, and I'm concerned about it becoming a distraction. And that's what I really want to get with you about as well, is how important is it for Joe Douglas to get this contract situation cleared up quickly?
Vital. It's vital, just because, we need our three-headed monster in that, well, four, really. We need that on that defensive line. That's one of our strongest suits, period. And the quarterbacks that we face in the AFC, they like to run, and we have killers that like to hunt. And not having Reddick, especially Huff, that puts a damper in things, man. And plus, Reddick is really good against the run itself too.
Yeah.
And it's disheartening too, also at the same time, because he was saying how happy he was. He was like, "Oh, I'm with all these guys," and then all of a sudden, no show. That money thing. Get it together, JD. It ain't easy being green, man. Kermit's so on the money every single year. Gotta change.
Now, when you look at this situation, how concerned are you that, and we've seen this in the past with Joe Douglas. I remember Morgan Moses. We were all hoping at one point that he would get him signed to become a Jet, and he put a number out there. And I think he left and went, whatever team that he went to after the Jets, it was literally like $1 million, I think, more. And Joe Douglas balked at it.
Yeah, he went to Baltimore.
Yeah, you're completely correct. He ended up going to Baltimore for like $1 million more than Joe Douglas was willing to work. And we saw it hurt the New York Jets. How concerned are you about Joe Douglas and that stubborn streak playing a role in this situation and allowing this contract situation to linger and create a distraction for this team? Are you worried that Joe Douglas, again, will fold his arms and stand pat instead of making the deal and smoothing things over?
To be honest with you, I am a little, just because he can hold it out for a season, and that would be horrific, especially this year. I'm one of those who, not Super Bowl or bust, but it better be Super Bowl or must.
Talk about it.
Giving first-round draft picks and everything, bringing in Rodgers, and he's a key staple. They should work something out where there's those incentive deals, just like how we got what's his name from the Cowboys? Oh my gosh,
Tyron Smith.
I forgot his name.
Tyron Smith.
Exactly. Let the man eat. Create the monster. Wave the carrot in front of his face, and if he eats it. That's great. It could only help us and benefit us.
Yeah.
So they better be busy doing whatever they do. All those suits better be putting their heads together and figuring out numbers, and then just be real with the guy. Somebody send him a pork roll, for God's sake, too. I don't know.
Listen,
all options are out there.
Yeah, I don't know if he eats the swine, but somebody send him something, okay, to get him into the building. I feel like it's got to be millions attached.
2 steaks or half a cow.
Some steaks, some something, okay, some Kobe steak, something. Get this guy whatever his favorite food is and get him in the building. But that leads me to my next question for you, Rusty. You look at this situation, man. If you're Joe Douglas, what do you think a contract would look like that would suffice for Haason Reddick? What would be a max number per year that you would be willing to give him going forward, man? Are you 16, 17?
How much do we even have left in the piggy?
Yeah, not much. We ain't got a. I know we
I'd
got.
give
We
him
got
like $2
quite a
mil
bit.
more than what Huff got.
Okay.
I
So
don't
you're
know.
looking at 19 mil per season,
or some, something
mm-hmm.
at least, and then give him incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him that he can get that and more.
Mm-hmm.
If he decides, to make his numbers like he did last year. He had great numbers, but the year before that was even better.
Mm-hmm.
They match,
Mm-hmm.
2022 or do better, and you're going to get this plus a ring.
Yep.
If you get us a ring, we're going to sign you long term or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure it out, man.
Yeah.
Figure it out, JD. He'll trust you, but good God,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Jets again have about, I think it's like $6 million left in cap, but next season we've got about $58 million in cap space. Again, there's a lot of things that are moving in that situation as well. Guys that we're going to have to resign and retain, and a lot of that. But that's what we're going to be able to have. So I'm wondering if
Wilson.
Wilson again, like you said as well. And I talked about it. This is extremely important because, again,
Jermaine.
you got Garrett Wilson, like you said as well. You got Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter II as well. Like there's guys that are coming up on deals, and you're going to have to make some decisions.
Yeah.
And like you just spoke about as well, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, those guys are like key pieces here with the New York Jets. They're key pieces.
Yeah, heavy hitters in the bank system.
Yeah, heavy. Never mind the fact that AVT as well. Fifth-year option, you probably want to get a deal done with him before, there's a lot of things
good to
coming.
go, apparently, too.
Say it again?
I said an AVT is good to go, apparently, too.
Yeah, he's going to be ready for camp. Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be very, very interesting, man, going forward with this situation. Yeah, so now as we continue to just have this discussion, Aaron Rodgers also missed mandatory minicamp. I had a lot of Jets fans hit me up and saying that this shows a lack of focus. I don't believe that. Me personally, I want to put this out there before y'all get my
I don't
DMs.
think so.
But what are your thoughts about him missing mandatory minicamps?
I'm with you. I'm not concerned about that. I mean, we have, our second string quarterback is, Tyrod. He's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And, not Tyrod. Yeah, we do have
Tyrod Taylor.
Right?
Yep. Tyrod Taylor. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's legit.
Mm-hmm.
He's good on it. And then plus, Rodgers is doing his thing. He showed up for the non-mandatory one. So I'm not concerned with Rodgers. Rodgers is fully in.
Yeah.
He really is. Who knows? Maybe he's going to get some stem cells and then going to do whatever his parties do, whatever. I don't care. Just show up, man. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I know his head's in the right place for us. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not in love with the idea of him missing mandatory minicamps. But I'm like, okay, look, he showed up to all of the voluntary stuff. I'm talking about all of it. Since he's gotten here, from day one, he showed up to everything. Yeah. He's been there for everything.
Too.
Yeah, whatever it is that he's, got to do, okay, cool. It's, mini camp's 2 days, but, I'm sure he's going to be there for training camp and everything going forward yet again and lock in with everybody. So as we continue to talk about, this situation, Mike Williams, Rusty, I believe Sulla came out and talked about Mike Williams is basically going to be ready for the season, okay? He's not going to be, as of now, he's not going to be at camp, but he's going to be at the season. Are you concerned about Mike Williams going into the season that he won't have his legs underneath him? Because that number two wide receiver spot has been a big question mark if he doesn't feel it, right? We know that Allen Lazard, there's a lot of hope that he's going to turn it around, but he stunk, okay, last season.
Horrible.
What are your thoughts about this situation? How concerned are you about Mike Williams not being ready until the season starts?
I'd be fibbing if I said I wasn't concerned about that, just because, like you said, his legs need that muscle memory. It's completely different when you're running on the field. Your brain wants to go, 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 but when your legs can't do that same thing that you're used to doing, that's how those unfortunate hammies get pulled and then other things, quad strain, calf strains and all those sorts of things. So, yeah, it's definitely concerning because you're just out of the gate going into not even football speed, NFL speed, and that's like starlight,
Yeah.
And I hope for the best with it, but the way that I see it, maybe around like week 5, hopefully sooner. But, I think that he would get his legs underneath him, but it definitely is concerning. because you're going to let him – he's a racehorse.
Yeah.
You can't just let him out of the gate like that onto,
Yep. No,
So,
yeah, you're talking facts.
It's definitely got a concern.
You're talking facts.
Yeah.
And if he is struggling to get his legs underneath him at that point, Rusty, who do you think is going to be able to step into that number 2 role? You probably have to go back to relying on Alan Lazard, right? I mean, I can't think of a guy.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah,
he needs. I can't stand him.
But who
Lizard.
else? Realistically, who else takes it? Listen, Malachi Corley is a rookie. We were all excited about him, but I don't think he's going to go out there and be a number 2. Xavier Gibson was on the roster last season.
No, he's a slot dude.
He's not a number 2, right? Jason Brownlee, if he makes the roster,
Nope.
I don't know if he'd be a number. Like there's nobody else. There's nobody else. You'd have to pray.
And I don't
you would
think
have
Lazard
to
is
pray
either.
that Alan Lazard is ready to do something. I'm bringing it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, shot in the dark. I'd put Yeboah on the outside as a number 2. So, like that's how much I can't stand Lazard. Like, throw Yeboah out there. At least he's, you can trust him. He's always at practice, and it's just, I just really hate Lazard so freaking much.
He's
he's up there with Carter, man. I can't stand them.
Listen, I get it. I understand.
Coach Carter.
But I'll tell you what, if Mike Williams ain't ready to go, it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, before I let you go, Rusty, final question, quickly. Keith Carter talked about changing his coaching style and how it's going to, basically help him, get closer to players and be able to relate to them. What are your thoughts about that?
Dude's a dud.
Okay.
Like, when you have legends talking about like – when you have NFL legends talking about you like that, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can change, I'll do that. Yeah, right. As soon as there's like a little animosity, he's going to snap into being the way that he always is. He's going to run his mouth. And it's like, I hope, then somebody's going to wind up having to Geno Smith him. Then there's going to be something else. But, like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll change. He doesn't have the respectable locker room. No way. And I'm shocked that we brought him back. I really am.
Yeah.
I mean, we had no choice with Hackett just because he's Aaron's boy. Mm-hmm. But Carter, he should have been gone getting. Just see ya.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, he's an issue. But the only thing that's happy is that you could see Mangold coming in and trying to help people. That should have been our offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least he's showing up on practices and stuff. Release that Lion guy. He looks like a lion to me. With his freaking crazy beard hair and everything like that.
Yeah. We saw Mangold out there with Tippmann, like you were saying. Yeah. Helping him out, man. Look, I like I know people cannot stand Keith Carter, and I get it. Everybody hates him. But I'm excited that he recognized a deficiency, and he's going to correct that deficiency. I'm all about that, especially going forward.
I hate him more than Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, Rusty, Blog Talk sucks. Let's flush them real quick. Oh. Blog Talk, you're trash. Yeah.
It's true. So is Coach Carter.
Yeah. Listen, Rusty, I got to slide off. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Absolutely, Joe. Salute to you and salute to the fellow Savages. Let's go, Jets, and let's get some Reddick, some freaking food, whatever he wants, contracts to incentives. Get him something.
Let's go, man. We're going to keep moving on with the lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Salutes to Bree in the chat. He says, hey, Joe, the more we talk about Reddick tonight, the better. Everything else is minor. June talking points. This one is really serious. And he also says salutes to Rusty. Salutes to Rusty as well. Yeah, listen, this is extremely important, okay? And I understand that there's a lot of Jets fans that are just kind of like, hey, whatever. Listen, the man missed $250,000 workout bonus. You just got to show up and just lift a weight and put it down. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to do nothing crazy. He said he didn't show up for that. And then he didn't show up for mini camps. That's $50,000, up to $50,000 more. I think he could be fined more than that. So if that money hasn't, brought him to say, hey, I want to show up and be there, then how long is this going to go on? That's a big question, especially when we're talking about a Jets defense that when you going into the season, if you do not have Haason Reddick there, who else is a pass rusher, like a proven pass rusher outside of Jermaine Johnson? Who else? And Jermaine Johnson ain't had double-digit sacks. So that pressure is going to be on Will McDonald. And that pressure that was before Haason Reddick stepped into the building is going to be immense, because that means Will McDonald would have to perform at a level to basically get us, help us get to a Super Bowl. He'd have to put up, those type of numbers in year 2, or the Jets fans and everybody else would be on top of him. So, man, oh man, this is extremely important, man. It's extremely important, especially, again, when you're giving up a 3rd-round pick. We could have utilized that capital in the draft. We could have done that. Bree salutes. He says as well, I saw and heard Aaron Rodgers on a show, probably McAfee, say months ago he had a thing midsummer. He'd agree with the Jets that he could do. Yeah. I remember him saying something like that he had to do midsummer. But, here we are. We missed mandatory minicamp, so we're going to see what's going on. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next! We're going to Mike. Mike, we're coming directly to you. Phenom, you will be next. I want to hear from you, Phenom. Hold on, okay? We know Phenom got some takes, but we got to get to Mike. He's been waiting. For those of you that do not know, Mike, he's a savage. Savage! Mike salutes. Again, this man's from Toms River. He knows what's up. Mike, Haason Reddick, not at mandatory minicamps. What are your thoughts about it, man?
I'm not too concerned.
You're not? Okay.
They talked to him when they drafted. Now, when they drafted for him, this is what they said before, that they knew going in what was going to be, and then even Salah said it. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what. With the offseason Joe Douglas had, please don't doubt this guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, please don't doubt it. He knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. He'll be in here. I think they'll sign him for like $20 million a year, because we got to sign Brees this year, and then Carter and Reed. I think they'll sign Carter. Maybe let Reed go if the skier plays up, But then next year we have Garrett Wilson and Sauce, So, and next year we're going to have what they were saying is we're going to have $70 million on the cap before the cap adjusts. So we'll have $70 million to do that with.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, right? And again, we'll see that. I know different cap sources say different things. You go to like over the cap, I believe they said like 58 million or something at this point is going to be. But again, the cap, it could go that high. Again, you got things moving and shaking there. But you said quite a bit, and I want to address some of it. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, right? And I'm going to look at this situation with Haason Reddick. You're saying you're not worried about it. I am worried about it. And here's why I am. It's because here's one of the biggest pieces of this defense that we were able to get in after Huff left, right? We were able to bring him into the building, and he was immediately a guy that we all said, okay, he's going to come in. He's going to be a key cog within this defense. He's going to be able to get after the quarterback. If you do not get a deal done with him, right, again, this is going to be his first year in our defense. He's still got to learn how to play, where to be within this defense. We know he can play football. Like, that's not in question. But he still has to learn this defense, the way that it ticks, the way that he's got to move within the defense as well, and also, get some camaraderie with his teammates too, and figure out where they want to go and how they want to do things. If this continues to play out and continues to, string along, there's a lot of things that can end up happening where, hey, that camaraderie and all that gelling and all that stuff will fall to the wayside. This continues to all the drama and stuff like that as well, especially the distraction that it can create too. Last season, we're coming off a season marred with distraction. Sauce talked about it. All that stuff in the off season, he's talked about how, hey, he felt like they were unfocused. Well, here's another distraction coming as well. I do see this as a problem, especially as it continues to play on and linger out. That's a wonder for me. And so I'm looking at the situation and I'm saying, look, I'm not I'm not bashing Joe Douglas at all. Everyone knows I love Joe Douglas. I've actually been called a Joe Douglas defender and all these other things, right? But I have, I've been called a Joe Douglas lover and all this kind of stuff, right? But here's the deal. If you're trading for a guy in the last year of his deal, and he knew that, $14.25 million, you knew that he was in the last year of his deal. Not only that, but you also knew that the reason why the Eagles, or at least it was rumored, was because, hey, he wanted a deal. He even made it pretty clear when you got in touch with the camp, that he wanted a deal. So if you were not ready to give him that deal, right, or if you didn't have something in place, a stopgap, give him some money or give him some type of little Band-Aid deal so that you would be able to get him on the field with no issues. If you did not have that prepared, why would you give up capital and bring this guy into the building to
I'm sure they had
become a distraction?
I'm sure they had something planned.
Give me your thoughts.
I'm sure they had something planned. They probably talked to them before they made the trade. I would see them give them $20 million plus incentives. If you do X, Y, Z.
But
whatever,
then why not just have it done already? Then, if they already had that in play and that was the plan, why not just have it done already?
It could be like stupid little stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like on the contract, they haven't worked it out. It'll be done. I guarantee you it will be done.
Yeah.
Remember last year when I told you on week 1 after Lawson didn't play, and I told you Johnson was gonna take the number 1 spot, and you're like, what? And it happened. I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
Okay. I'm hoping that
and
it
then
does.
we can set everything off that, and we're forgetting about AVT too. AVT is up for a contract too.
Yeah, I talked about that. Yeah.
Actually, really good because with all his injuries, we can sign him for really cheap with incentives.
I don't know about that.
I
don't know about that
because he's injury prone.
Well, I tell you what. Yes, the last 2 years he's dealt with big injuries. But if he comes in this year on this fifth-year option and he shows the league that he can be fully healthy, you are not going to get AVT for cheap.
He's coming up with Achilles, though. But he's coming up with Achilles. Though.
Yeah, but he's an offensive lineman. He's not a running back, though, Mike. He's not a running back, right? And I mean, heck, you look at Breece Hall. Breece Hall's a young guy, had an Achilles or an ACL tear. Nothing's wrong with him. Like, bruh, he looks the exact same as before. So it's like, I understand what you're saying. But if AVT shows this year that he is fully healthy, everyone is going to be on him. This is a guy. Hold on a second, Mike. I'll let you talk. AVT has shown you. No, it's all good. We're having this back and forth discussion. AVT has shown you he can play every single position along the offensive line. Well, from left tackle to right tackle. Only thing he hasn't played is center, but it's clear he could probably do that too, right? He's a guy that can show you he's a dominant guard. He's literally one of the best guards in the league when he's healthy. And that's not me just saying that because he's from SC, fight on. That's me saying that because he literally dominates people at right or left guard.
He does.
So if he can show you that he's fully healthy this year, if he stay healthy and good, we're not getting him for cheap. I don't personally believe that, Mike, but continue on.
Well, I'm just saying because with the injury history, we can sign him cheaper and then give him incentives in the contract. You can make the Pro Bowl, you make the All-Star. You know what I mean? I see that that could work out. We got to lock up Breece Hall. Breece Hall is number 1. We got to lock him up, and Michael Carter. We got to lock him up too.
Well, I heard you say you wanted to let go of DJ Reed too. I heard you say that. I'm not a favor of that either.
I mean, we could. I know, me too. I mean, we could try to get him, but he's going to want big bucks. You know what I'm saying? But I heard with the OTAs that the kid Skeeter has been playing lights out. So we'll see what he does this year, and then we'll make that next year. But we got a plan because we got Sauce and we got Wilson coming up.
Yeah, I mean,
so
there's a lot. There's a lot coming up, and it's going to be
making so many good picks.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Douglas has got to get this done. He's got to get it done. There's a lot of things coming up, But he's got to figure out this situation with Reddick and get him on the field. As we continue to talk about this team, you look at this situation as well. We know Aaron Rodgers also missed mandatory minicamps. What are your thoughts on that?
He probably had plans to go out to the desert, take some peyote, and go to the dark room. Let him go do that. He invented this whole offensive system. He could do it in his sleep. So he did all the mandatory, voluntary stuff and everything.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay. Coyotes in the desert, man. I tell you, the Savages is something else.
Coyote.
As we continue on, we're in a lot.
Hey, Joe, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You live in California, right?
Yes, I do.
How did you become a Jet fan?
How
did you become a Jet fan?
This is a great question. I talk to people about this all the time. I grew up a Lakers fan, and at least where I live, it's I grew up playing basketball as well, so that's why I always was a huge Lakers fan all my life. I'm talking, before Shaq and Kobe. I mean, Eddie Jones, Eldon Campbell, all those guys, Sedell 3, all those guys, Nick Van Exel, Vlade Divac, like those are the Lakers that I fell in love with. Even before that, like I remember a little bit the late part of Magic's career and all that other stuff. And so I never really liked football growing up, and played basketball. Decided to kind of sit down and watch a game, and it just happened to be the Monday Night Miracle, Jets Dolphins, right? So I'm watching this game. Because I always thought that football was stupid. I'm telling you, I know people look at me now and like, what in the world? I always thought that football was an idiotic sport back then, and I was really young. I just thought it was an idiotic sport. It didn't make any sense to me at all. Now, mind you, I'm fully engulfed in basketball. Like, I played on sports. I played on my school's team and all that stuff, right? Really good player. Not to toot my own horn, but I was pretty good. So I'm watching this game. And I'm watching it, and the Jets are getting their butts kicked. And I'm like, man, this team sucks. This team is trash. Like, what? Why are they on TV? Like, what is going on? And so, Jason Taylor is going off on the Jets crowd, and everybody's laughing. And I'm like, man, this guy. I just remember thinking, like, man, this ball head guy is just letting that crowd have it. Man, the Jets are trash.
He got some karma.
Yeah. And so I just kept watching the game, right? And the Jets got down big. And I remember being like, man, this team should not be on TV. I kept watching, and I watched them come all the way back and eventually win the game, right? And it was crazy because they looked into the stands, and like most of the Jets fans at the time had left, like they were leaving the game until the Jets came back and got the W. And I remember watching that game.
And they let him back in the game, too. They let him back in.
Yeah. I went back and read about that, like how they ran back into the stadium because the Jets were finally back into the game. And, I said, you know what? I got to follow this team. Like, maybe they got some spirit. And I remember I just kept watching them, kept following them. Curtis Martin and, all the guys, Vinny Testaverde, Chad Pennington, who was my favorite Jet of all time. Is Chad Pennington, everyone. If you don't know that, just know that. Listen, I love Curtis Martin, but the way that Chad was able to manipulate, just the defenses with his mind, and he wasn't like the most physically gifted quarterback, but he made sure that the ball got where it needs to be. Either way, I fell in love with the team from then, and I also fell in love with football through the Jets as well. I ended up playing football. I'm not going to go into – I ended up playing football. I was scouted. Long story. But I ended up going to the military, so that's why I didn't continue on with college football or basketball. But, so that's how I became a Jets fan. Say it again?
What service did you go into?
I don't want to get too much into that, but it was the Navy. Everybody knows. I don't want to, talk too much about it. It's YouTube. You got to watch.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, But that so that's what made me fall in love with football and made me fall in love with this football team, and been following them ever since, Mike. Ever since. And here we are, right, having a discussion after
God
that
bless.
great question. So my final question before I let you go, Mike, because the lines are buzzing. Phenom, you are coming up next. Man, we're looking at this situation, right? A lot of talk surrounding this defense, all right? Chuck Clark has come out, talked about how he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to be fighting, man. In your mind, have you penciled him in as the New York Jets starting strong safety?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So you think it's his position to lose?
Oh, definitely. He's like the what's his name? The fucking
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
Watch your language.
Brother that we got rid of.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Number 33 that we got rid of.
Are you talking about Jamal Adams?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. But
You
I
think he
think
plays a lot like
he's
Jamal?
more of like
Okay.
a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
But he can come down the box and hit like a linebacker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're set. I think this is the best roster the Jets have ever had.
Okay. All right. Listen, Mike, I got to slide off. We got to get to the other callers. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Oh, exactly. Definitely.
Absolutely. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We'll be coming to Phenom next. Phenom, I see you. We're coming directly to you. But before we go there, we got to talk to the Savages, okay? Bree says, Long Beach Joe, the origin story. Yeah, a lot of people don't know how I became a Jets fan. That is how I became a Jets fan, watching the Monday Night Miracle. That was my first Jets game I ever watched, ever. It was the first football game. Well, I watched football games before that, but not really as intensely as I watched that game. I literally was sitting in my room, staring at the TV, watching the Jets get their keisters kicked, wondering why this team is on TV. And here I am years later, okay, after completely falling in love with the team. Sometimes I watch them, and I still wonder why they're on TV getting their keisters kicked, okay? Little did I know that for years after that, I would be watching them wondering why they're on TV getting their keisters kicked. Gangrene Davis salutes Savage. He says, can the offensive line finally have some continuity to it? Can we rely on our other wide receivers to not create massive drop-off after Garrett Wilson? And how will Rodgers produce coming off a torn ACL? Those are all great questions, David. Those are all great questions. I'm hoping that this line will get it together this upcoming year. There's a lot of major injury concerns on it. Tyron Smith being number one, right? Then you got Morgan Moses, who's dealt and got banged up a bit. AVT is another one. 2 years, he's had 2 big injuries and missed quite a bit of time, right? So I'm hoping that this year things will be able to be shored up. But if we do have an injury along this line, right, I believe that Olu is going to be able to feel, especially one of those tackle spots, that Olu is going to be able to slide in. That was a beautiful pick by Joe Douglas. I know people wanted to go, with Bowers and whoever else, but I was screaming, grab a lineman, okay? And I talked about multiple guys, Troy Fontenot, there was different guys, but he ended up with Olu, a guy that I liked as well. So here we are. That wide receiver question is interesting as well, David. You look at the situation, boy, oh boy. After Garrett Wilson, if Mike Williams don't step up, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, okay? That's why I think Malachi Corley is going to be very important this upcoming season. What he's going to be able to bring to that wide receiver position is going to be a good, really good tool to kind of defeat some of the matchups. They're going to utilize him if, our offensive coordinator can get his head out of his keister, okay? They're going to be throwing the ball a lot behind the line to Malachi Corley and allowing him to do what he does best. He's the Yak King for a reason. I'm thinking a lot of screens, a lot of RPOs, a lot of different things with him is going to be utilized. But I'm telling you, if Mike Williams don't get his legs underneath him, we're going to be struggling at that number 2 wide receiver spot. Unless Alan Lazard has some miracle makeover. Brother, oh brother. We're going to see what's up. And Rodgers producing off that torn Achilles. We'll see. He's been looking really good since he came back. We've seen him run. We've seen him, do things. He may not be 100% just yet, but he's very close to it. He's whipping the ball around, and we're also seeing mentally he is still very strong. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. All right. Captain K, I see you. He says, Joe, come to London. I'll try to make it out there. I'm going to try to make it out there one day for a Jets game. All right? I'm going to try. But, there's a lot of things going on. All right? Inflation, I don't want to get too much into it. But, things are expensive, and they're getting even more expensive. All right? But I'm going to try, okay, one day to make it out there for a game. Salutes to you, Kay. And, again, all of the folks overseas that listen to your boy. We got to get to Phenom. We're getting back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next, we're going to Phenom. Phenom, we got to talk to him. For those of you that do not know, this man Phenom, he's a savage. Savage! Phenom, did you enjoy my story of watching the Jets get their keisters kicked?
Yes, the origin story. I don't think I ever heard it, so it was tremendous, man. And I understand why you're a Jets fan. I definitely, because I'm watching that game like you, asking myself the same question: how are my boys getting their butts kicked on national television in front of the whole world? That was a Monday night game, so. It was nuts, and the fact that they still won, and it's but that's why we watch football, because it's like the best soap opera you'll ever watch in your life. Yeah. There's tosses and turns and all kinds of misdirections and everything else, man. Mm-hmm. So that's why we love this game so much.
That's a fact. Now speaking about tosses and turns and all kind of things spinning round and round, man, right. We're sitting here with Haason Reddick, who's missed. He didn't go to the voluntary stuff. Everybody was wondering if he would be at mandatory minicamps. He's not at the mandatory stuff either. This contract situation is playing out, and it's starting to look like it's going to get nasty. At this point, Phenom, do you think it was a major mistake for Joe Douglas to trade for Reddick, knowing that he wanted a new contract, and it seems like he wasn't going to give it to him? What are your thoughts?
I'll answer this question like this. The business of football stinks,
Yep.
It ain't personal, it's business, right? I remember when the Dallas Cowboys didn't want to pay Emmitt Smith, and then they had a couple games losing streak, and then all of a sudden they paid the man. If you ever worked at rank and file, that's going to be the battle for the end of time. We want your services. We need your services, but we're not willing to pay you what you're worth. No team can pay you what you're worth. No job can pay you what you're worth. They can pay you a lot of money, but is that really your worth? What would a Bo Jackson be worth, or Deion Sanders, or Jerry Rice? You name it. What would these guys be worth on the market right now? So, like I said, at the end of the day, we have more important issues to deal with in this country. It's June 11th. Mm-hmm. At some point, one of these sides are going to break. We hope we made a good decision. If not, somebody's next man up. Should we put a lot of pressure on a second-year player like Will McDonald? No, but I'm thinking that everything's going to be fine. I'm believing in Joe Douglas.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you didn't come all this far to put this team together to have this one situation ruin it. So I'm going to believe.
Here's the thing, though, Phenom, and I hear what you're saying. I don't mean to cut you off, but here's the thing. We have seen Joe Douglas in the past, right? We have seen the stubbornness allow things to get away from him and escape him. We saw him put his foot down with Morgan Moses, before, when he should have re-signed him. He should have gave him an extension and kept him a Jet.
Sure.
He allowed him to go to Baltimore for like $1 million more than he was willing to offer, which it wasn't nothing crazy, right? It wasn't.
Right.
He walked away, and we had issues trying to figure out that, especially this tackle position along the offensive line, ever since then. Now, Morgan Moses is back into the building, but we've seen Joe Douglas be stubborn, cross his arms, and it's costed us. Here's the deal. I know you said one side is going to break, and we'll see what happens. This Haason Reddick, that man has missed out on $250,000 workout bonus, which is, it's nothing to show up at voluntary and get your easy peasy workout bonus. No. He's also going to be, I'm thinking he's going to be fined. It could be up to $50,000 as well for missing the mandatory stuff. He's let it be known from day one, I want a new contract. The Eagles knew it. When the Jets contacted his side or his camp or his representation, they let the Jets know as well, hey, new contract, we going to need that. Now we're here in this situation, right? And there's still nothing done. And I know people are saying, okay, it's only June, but this is mandatory. This guy's brand new here to this defense, to this team, to this scheme, to these players in a year where there's gigantic expectations, right? I just had Rusty on. That guy's been a Jet fan for forever. He said, as well as other Jets fans that I have spoken to have said, this is Super Bowl or bust. Super Bowl or bust. That's, I know you laughing. I look, and I get it, but I'm telling you, those are the expectations, especially with, right, the time winding down on Aaron Rodgers. He ain't gonna be here forever. That window's closing every second. And you're telling me that we have Haason Reddick, a guy that's supposed to be a key cog, he's not here because Joe Douglas hasn't made sure that he got a deal and he's happy to be here? I'm wondering, and this is my next question for you, are you concerned that Joe Douglas is going to do the same thing he did with Morgan Moses, fold his arm, allow this continue to linger, and create even more of a distraction for this football team?
Long story short. No. If this is August, yeah,
all right,
we're in panic mode.
All right.
This is not August. This is June. This is June. Hopefully in life we learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You laid it out beautiful, man. Boy, you painted a picture and did all the fine details and everything. But again, I'm hoping that I'm right, and that this is not going to be the big issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's gonna break this team. No. This is June 11th. If it was August, like I said, we would be, our hair would be on fire. Our hair's not on fire right now. Not on fire right now. It's a little. Our tummy might be rumbling, but we're not really hungry yet.
Okay.
If it gets to that point, we'll be talking.
Okay.
But right now, no, we're not gonna get. We're not. You're in mid-season form, Joe. You're in mid-season form. But you know, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. I know we don't have anything like. I mean, it's a real issue. It's a real issue. But again, let's just relax. Take a breath. This is summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Kick back, drink some lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Chill.
And I'll tell you what, you said, it's the summertime. You're right, and it's hot. Okay, and this situation's getting hotter and hotter as it continues on. But I'm gonna sit back.
You want me to stop? I don't want to feel the heat on this one.
Okay.
Like I said.
Okay.
It's not what you're worth. It's what you can negotiate.
Okay.
This guy is here for a reason. He can't, like, everybody knows what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see that this will be the fun play out before the season. Hopefully it'll be settled. We'll go into August and we'll roll right through this, and then we'll do what we need to do, and it'll be a great season. But no, I can't. We have too much summer. We have too much summer to go, and this is gonna be a great year. And, we got to look forward to San Francisco and Tennessee, and I'll be in Tennessee to see the Jets play. And I want that to be that's a must game. So I want to see our boys out there in Tennessee do well. So it's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be awesome.
I'll tell you what, Joe Douglas.
All right,
Joe Douglas better move. Joe Douglas better move and get it done. As we continue on, I'm just saying, everybody, listen, I do not want anybody, okay? I do not want anybody to look back, and if this situation continues to play out and linger, and be like, well, Joe, why did you? No, listen. I'm addressing it just like I addressed everything else, okay? I'm not passing up.
I know.
I'm a little, I'm just saying, if you trade for a guy that wants a deal, you should probably get the deal done before you trade for him so that it's said and done, he's into the building. Or you should already have something on the table ready to go to get him into the building so that this guy, who's supposed to be the big pass rusher, does not, cause any issues or cause a distraction in a Super Bowl or bust year. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I agree. Remember your origin story. Remember your origin. Started looking bad, and all of a sudden it turned around.
Listen, let me tell you,
picture, brother.
Let me tell you something. You get your keister kicked. Get your keister kicked again on Monday night. We'll see how long I watch you then. I won't be watching into that game. I'll tell you, I've never left the Jets game ever. For those of you that are going to try to use that against me, never done it. Even when we got blown out, I still watch. But nobody else is going to watch it. Now, as we continue to talk about this team, Phenom, man. Mike Williams, there's a lot of talk about him not being ready until the season. He's not going to be ready for camp, but he'll be ready for the season, according to Sulla. What are your thoughts about that, man? Because if he doesn't have his legs underneath him, who else would the Jets turn to for that number 2 wide receiver position? Where else would we get production from? Give me your thoughts, Phenom.
Again, you guys, you laid it out. And it's going to – I wrote this down while you were on your last call with Rusty or – the caller before. It could be literally number 2 wide receiver by committee. Now, that's not exactly what you want, but if we have, like, Mike Williams would be the natural to Garrett Wilson. We've been looking at that all season. Maybe Brownlee emerges. Or worst case scenario, does Alan Lazard become a better receiver because Aaron Rodgers is in there? I heard, so it might be early part of the season, wide receiver 2 by committee. It might be that. That might be the scenario. Is that the best case scenario?
No.
Until Mike Williams or Malachi Corley establish themselves as the number 2, then we'll see. Because who's the real pecking order? We know Garrett's is number 1, but that's been the question all offseason. Who really is the number 2? That's a legit question.
Yeah.
So if it's by committee until it's been established, because some of this stuff is organic. It has to happen on its own time. So again, that's why we watch football, to see. Oh wow, wow, Conklin is really the number 2 receiver. Maybe Conklin's going to be the number 2 receiver on this team, even though he's a tight end. Because now Aaron Rodgers is getting him the ball. And then Malachi Corley maybe is a 3 until Mike Williams emerges at midseason and becomes the new number 2 and gets 1,000 yards, and we become the team we think we're going to be. So, like I said, that's why we watch. That's why we watch. That's why we watch. So, again, I'm not. It's gonna be a sunshiny day until it's not. It's gonna be a sunshiny day until it's not.
Yeah.
Because I'm a realist. I mean, like some people are saying, and maybe you said it too. This is the best roster that we've had in years. This is the best roster, in my opinion, since the '98, team. It had some great personnel there. I'm sure there's other teams. When you said Chad Pennington, the Chad Pennington years, we had some good teams as well.
Those years with Rex are phenomenal too. Those are some good teams too.
Yeah, and the Rex years were absolutely amazing as well. All the above. But my plaque, the '98 team is still that team that I said, oh man, we got a legitimate chance to win. Not that the Rex Lions teams did, because they did. There was nobody who was going to be telling me before that Pittsburgh game that we weren't going to win. But we get in that Pittsburgh game and we give up 100 yards on the ground by Mendenhall, and we may be able to stop the run this year too. So, like I said, again, salute to the Savages, salute to you. It's why we watch these games, man. This season is going to be fun to watch. I mean, I'm going on the road this year. I went on the road last year, but I'm really looking forward to going to the road to Tennessee because they have a good team.
Yeah.
We're going to have it if that's week 2. going to Tennessee. It's a must game either way. We beat San Francisco, now we got to beat Tennessee, or we lost to San Francisco and we need to beat Tennessee. Either way, I'm looking for it's a must win. I'm going to that game. So and then I'm in somebody else's home ballpark. Yeah. It's why we watch. It's why we watch. It's why we're talking about football on June 11th. And you're in mid-season form, and now I'm starting to feel like I'm in mid-season form.
Listen, but before I let you go, this has been a phenomenal call, Phenom. Before I let you go, Keith Carter came out.
You too, Joe. You got me hyped up, man. You got me all hyped up, man. Come on.
Keith Carter spoke about, with the media about changing his coaching style to help teach, basically to help relate to players. What are your thoughts about that? I think that it's a great thing, right? I understand people want to go. Everybody hates him. But I think he saw something corrected. What are your thoughts about it, man?
Look, a fool. I forgot my quote. Anyway, sometimes you have to. Sometimes people are going to change. So, but basically, people will remain the same. Hopefully, if you learn by your mistakes, as I said earlier. So,
yeah.
Hopefully this guy's learned something and is going to take it forward and be a better football coach. Just like in life, sometimes we have to take a setback before we have a breakthrough. So again, and it's imagine everybody is critiquing. That's why professional sports is so hard, because everybody is critiquing your every move. If you had to be critiquing if I had to be critiqued in my job when I worked, it would have been. I was critiqued every day anyway. So, but that's terrible. That's living on eggshells. Anyway, he's a professional coach. He gets paid a lot of money to do what he loves. And you're in the biggest media market in the world. This is what you got to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm God.
Listen, Phenom. It has been a phenomenal time speaking to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right.
Always. Enjoyed the origin story, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Salutes, man. Salutes. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. All right. We're taking live callers. Okay. We're going to get to Chris, man. Chris is calling in. I cannot wait to speak to him. I know he's got some takes for us. I know he's got something to say. For those of you that do not know Chris, he is a complete, savage. Savage!
What's up?
Chris, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, man. Listen, I'm going to go straight away with you. Haason Reddick, no show. At mandatory minicamps, we know he didn't show up for his voluntary workouts either. Missed out on a $250,000 bonus. You got some Jets fans that are extremely upset, that are concerned about this situation. You got other Jets fans that are like, hey, everything's cool. What side of the fence do you fall on?
I fall somewhere in between the middle because, one, before you traded for this guy, you should have known that he wanted a contract.
Yeah.
Two, that's just basic, thinking that if you trade for this guy, you wanted a contract. So, two, one of the biggest things that's hindered the Jets over the past, couple of years is the health. So guys staying on the sidelines, not ready for things. So it could go both ways. I can see both points, but you should have traded. It's nice to get a new guy in the camp and stuff, but I mean, he's a little bit, veteran. He should know what he's doing. This defensive rotation situation, we should be fine in this situation. So, I have confidence he's going to come back and he's going to do a good job. He's a professional. One thing you don't have to worry about guys being professional in this business. So I think Haason Reddick is a professional. So.
And I understand he's a professional, right? But and you're saying yourself you're not worried about it. And I'm going to play the other side here. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm looking at it. I'm concerned. And here's why. You said he's a professional and he'll show up. Then he would have showed up to voluntary. $250,000 is more than enough of an incentive, right? He did show up to voluntary. But you also got to keep in mind, though, Chris, not just for the contract and the money, but he's here with a brand new team. Brand new team, brand new scheme, right?
Yeah.
Brand new staff, brand new players. If you're a guy that just got traded for, and he came into the building, we saw a footage of him. I think he was talking to Sauce, and he told him, yo, this is going to be something different. You know, the rest of the league is not going to know what hit him. We about to really put some things together. Well, if you want to, be that guy, and we all know that he's going to be a big part of the defense the second that we got him, especially after letting go of Huff, we said, oh, this is going to be our big pass rusher. Yeah, we love Jermaine Johnson. Pro Bowl, he's great. Hasn't had double-digit sacks, though. He's a guy that can put it together, a phenomenal player, right? But Haason Reddick is something else. I mean, double digits for the last 4 years. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. You add him to this defense. Now you got JJ. You got Haason, right? Will McDonald, we can slow roll him. He can come in and help, but no pressure on him. Once Haason, if this continues to linger out, maybe he holds out. He doesn't play. Well, that pressure goes right back onto Will McDonald, and then you got to see, hey, JJ, can you get there? Can you get us 10 or better? The pressure's on him too as well.
I don't
a lot
think,
of people are not talking about it. Go ahead, talk about it.
I'm on the opposite side of Wood McDonald. I really believe this kid's gonna be a star, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I looked at both players because I was a Bryce Huff fan coming out of college. I was so happy that the Jets drafted Bryce Huff because I saw him when he was in college.
Yeah,
I saw him. I knew his potential. I saw Bryce Huff. When people were talking about, oh, this guy is never, I said, nah, we got to watch Bryce Huff. This was years ago. And I'm telling you, Will McDonald is that guy, man.
But here's the thing.
Tell you, man.
Here's the thing.
And I like I said, I look at it from an objective effort, not just as a Jet fan, but this guy's going to be like Brian Burns. This guy is like this guy's like when Brian Burns came in. When Brian Burns came in the league,
go ahead.
I knew Brian Burns was going to be a star.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, and that's great. Listen, Chris, that's great. I like Brian Burns as well, but here's the deal: Will McDonald was not playing in a lot of games this last season. He didn't play in a lot of games. There were some games I believe he was deactivated in. Like Burns wasn't dealing with that, dog. Like he wasn't dealing with that. That boy was on the field. All right, so it's like, look, I get it, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying that if Haason is not out there and holds out. And he ain't out there week 1 because that's what I'm concerned about. And I got a question for you.
Right.
The pressure on Will McDonald is going to go through the roof in a Super Bowl or bust year. I have had people talk to me. I have had fans call in tonight, fans of the Jets, just like me, call in and say it's Super Bowl or bust. I don't want to hear nothing. I just said playoffs. Crazy. I've had Super Bowl or bust, or we gonna have smoke, Joe. And here's my question for you, Chris. Hold on, Chris. Here's my question for you. We've seen Joe Douglas fold his arms in the past and be stubborn, and it cost him, right? We saw that with Morgan Moses. Are you concerned that he'll be stubborn in this situation with Haason Reddick and allow it to linger and create more of a distraction than it's already caused? That's my question for you, Chris.
I think he'll get the deal done before minicamp. This is not a Super Bowl bust team, okay? Any Jet fan, listen to me. I'm listening. All your fans out there.
I'm listening.
Okay, all the Long Beach Joe fans. This is not a Super Bowl or bust team. And let me explain to you why. Okay,
talk,
this
Chris.
Team, and a lot of people like yourself are still looking at this team. And the Jet content creators. Now look at all of it, right? You guys are like, well, what's going to happen when we sign Garrett Wilson to this great contract? What's going to happen when we sign Sauce to the good? Well, how much are they going to want, right? And if we're Super Bowl or bust, we don't care. We're spending the money to get the guys on the team this year. We're boatload cap money. We are all in. You know what I'm saying? And we don't care. If Sauce walks in a year or two, he doesn't get stuff. If Garrett walks and we have to totally rebuild this team, that's what I mean about Super Bowl or bust. That's what it means. People are still looking down the line for this team. And it frustrates me because we haven't won a championship in over 50 years, man. We got a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is our shot. This is our shot. Who cares if Garrett Wilson walks? Who cares if they walk? Who cares? We have to win now. And it frustrates me because I've been saying that for a long time. I've been telling y'all, oh, what if Garrett Wilson? Like all these Jet country, what happens? What kind of Garrett Wilson's going to want? Who cares? He's here this year. We got to win now. We should have signed. We got another people. We could have get some other guys in this team. We could bring in Timmons. We could backlog these contracts. And when those guys leave, they all leave, and we suck for 2 years, and we get the first trick in the draft, and we trade these guys for number 1 pick. That's what it is. And let me explain it why.
Go ahead, Chris.
The Jet problem. Listen, the Jet problem is that we have not been. This is what I'm telling you. Everybody wants to build for the future and build it. The Jet problem for the last 35 years is that we have not been bad enough to get that number 1 or number 2 pick. We were with Zach Wilson, but we messed up. But where will we be if we signed Trevor Lawrence? Where will we be? We would have that rookie contract. We could have boatloaded that thing to get the number 1 pick in the draft. We have not been bad enough. We've been average, and with those guys on the team, I feel we're going to be 7 and 5. We won't get that pick. We will not get that pick. It's a Super Bowl or bust, Jet fans. You're all in. That means cap hell. That means New Orleans Saints style cap hell. That means you're all in. Not bringing these guys in the team. That's what it means.
Yeah, that's not what that means. You don't have to Super Bowl or bust. You can be a team that's competing to win a Super Bowl and still, build your team for long-term success. You can absolutely still do that. That's why it's important to get guys like Garrett Wilson, Sauce, AVT, Jermaine Johnson, to get them re-signed and keep them on your football team for years to come, because that means you're going to be competing for Super Bowls for years to come. Because Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here hold on. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here. Hold on. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here for more than maybe 2 more years, maybe, right? He's not going to be here for more than 2 years, more than likely, right? Unless he just decides to be here for 5 or whatever years. As of right now, we know that window's closing because he's only going to be here 2 years. But whoever's after him, they're going to have to be blocked for. If you don't have AVT, or if you don't have guys to catch the football like Garrett Wilson, what are you giving this young quarterback that's going to head that's going to head your team coming up? You're not giving him. Hold on. You're not giving him anything. You're not giving him anything to work with. It's extremely important that you get those guys re-signed and be brought in. So you can do both. Super Bowl or bust doesn't mean you blow your team out and then you're the New Orleans Saints. There's various ways to build your football team. Various ways. You look at the Bucs. The Bucs brought in Tom Brady, right? They were Super Bowl. And guess what? They have another quarterback now, and they continue to compete. Why? Because they have the cap room and the space. They've drafted guys and brought them in to continue to compete at a high level. There's various other teams that we see. The Ravens, for years, have been a team that's been on a Super Bowl quest, right? You look at what they've been able to do. There's various other Patriots for years were a team that constantly, was on the hunt and everything. So you don't have it's Super Bowl or bust, or making sure you win a Super Bowl. Or competing for Super Bowls doesn't mean you have to blow your team out and not have nothing. I'll give you the last word on this topic before we move on.
Well, I disagree with you, Joe. I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because the problem of the last. Okay, Sauce Gardner. I'm not saying trade these guys by all means, but I'm saying Sauce Gardner is not better than Darrell Reeves. And at this point,
he doesn't have to be.
Garrett Wilson's not better.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You don't. First off, you can listen. I'm not trying to cut you off. Can we stop trying to talk about Sauce being better than Revis? Look, Sauce has played 2 years. 2 years. He's been great.
Right.
He's played 2 years. That. We don't know what he's going to be, but we know he's good. We know that. So guess what? If we know he's good and he's a building block on the defense, he's very good. I'm not going to say he's Revis-esque because that's going to make people go crazy. He's very good, but he's a building block. He's something, a young guy that you can move in the future with. So if you can get him re-signed and keep him a Jet, you do that. Like, you do that. Just because he's not Darrell Revis. You do that, yeah. But you do that. Go ahead. I'll let you get the final word. Go ahead.
So I'll say so he's not better Revis. Okay, he's a building block for Super Bowl, and so is Garrett Wilson, because he's not better than at this point in his career. He's not better than Santonio Holmes at this point in his career. So I'm just saying we've had guys like this in our thing. We've had Hall of Fame players at every position, and we haven't won the one position. We haven't had a Hall of Famer or a top 5 that is quarterback, and that's what I'm saying. The time is now, Joe. The time is not 2 years from later when these guys come up and said, God willing, we will get a guy that can supplant Aaron Rodgers. If we could see a future like that down the thing, we could do that. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, this is just that. I'm just gonna tell you, Joe. I've been watching your show and for years. You know that.
Yeah.
This is it.
Thank you again.
You know what I'm saying, and we got to pay Haason Reddick 3 years, $40 million, and maybe try to do something with Sauce, and Sauce holds out. We had to franchise him, and we had to bring in Bakhtiari, and maybe these young guys are uncomfortable and holding out. I'm with that. But a lot of Jet fans are like, oh, we got to pay Sauce. Why are we going to pay this guy? No, we're all in now, man. It is what it is. Before I leave, I want to say one thing about the Jets. The one thing you said about the Jets, about the pass and stuff with the receivers. And I haven't talked to you in a while, so I just wanted to.
No, go ahead.
One guy I want to tell. I really love the Jets pick of Brandon Allen. I really like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Brandon Allen was the best running back in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me a lot of Thomas Jones. He reminds me a lot of that guy. And the Jets are going to be running the football.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be running the football down team's throat.
Mm-hmm.
That guy right there is an animal. That guy right there is going to be a beast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the problem is like when that guy gets the ball in the fourth quarter, he's going to bust it through. I've seen it at Wisconsin. I was surprised. I said, when they were trading, I saw Brandon Allen on the board. I was like, man, I said, I can't. Why don't they take him? He's right there. When he took him, I was like, that was a steal. And 3 years later, we're going to look at this entire draft. Even all respect to Olu Fashanu, all respect to dude for Malachi Corley, that was the best Jets draft pick they got.
Okay, listen. I'll tell you what. Listen, Olu Fashanu, I think is – I hear you, but Olu Fashanu for me is that was the great move. Braylon Allen, great. I think he's definitely going to be able to guy that's definitely going to absolutely back up Brees, and he's going to get the football. We'll see. There's a battle between him and Izzy, right? And I like Corley as well. I think that the offensive scheme and what they want to do. I watched a lot of the Packers. Everyone knows I love Aaron Rodgers, so I did watch a lot of Packers game. I think he's going to be utilized if Nathaniel Hackett can get his head out of his keister. He's going to be utilized quite a bit this upcoming season. A lot of things, schematically that we're going to do. But, yeah, I'm excited. But I think that Olu is definitely the crown jewel of that draft. Now, before I let you go, Chris, because you've been talking that talk, man. You've been talking that talk, and this has been a great call from you. You talked a little bit about, that wide receiver position, and I want to go here with you. You talked about, pass catching and everything. Mike Williams probably not going to be healthy until the season starts. I'm concerned about that because I'm looking at it. He's going into the season, coming off that injury. He's going to have to work himself back into, kind of football shape. I mean, we saw that from Breece Hall, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if he's doing that and he's learning the scheme with Nathaniel Hackett here, right? How concerned are you about that number 2 wide receiver spot being shaky? Because if he doesn't have his legs underneath him, somebody's going to have to fill in. If Mike Williams isn't completely ready when the season starts, where do you think the Jets will turn at that wide receiver spot? I mean, do you think that Allen Lazard will be able to step up, or Xavier Gibson? Who do you think will fill that number 2 role if Mike Williams is not ready?
I think that that's a question. I mean, it's there's a ton of things that you look at that point, and honestly, it depends on. That is something for Minicamp to discern, because you really depend on Allen Lazard to be at least Gabe Davis. At least somebody like that, or somebody like that could turn into, or Brownlee could. But only at least that guy. But one thing that's out there right now, and nobody's talking about, is Corey Davis is still out there. So you know what I'm saying? He didn't get the thing from Tennessee.
I don't buy it.
And that's always a thing. And then I really truly believe the Jets are going to make a trade for a wide receiver.
Is it though, Chris? Here's the thing. and I hear what you're saying. I want to definitely let you get your take out. But I think there's been a lot of people, a lot of Jets fans romanticizing Corey Davis. Corey Davis, when he was here, and everybody knows I loved the second that we got him, but there was a lot of issues with Corey Davis. He dropped a lot of footballs. He was often injured, right?
Yeah.
He missed a lot of games here. I'm talking a lot. I remember there was one year, I think it was the last year, he had a hip injury.
I remember that.
Then he came back and got a concussion,
Yeah.
and then he was gone after. It was like, and then he dropped so many footballs. It was insane. Like, it was insane. So this love affair with Corey Davis is like, look, I get it, but I don't get it, because I think there is better options out there. But go ahead. I'll let you finish your take. Here,
I think
Chris.
it's gonna. I think the receiver is gonna be a move at the deadline. I think if we can get through the first couple of games, but I think from the team going to be screening predominantly a run offense, and I think it's going to work. I think we got some good running backs. I think we got a rotation of guys. We got Brees come out of the thing, and who knows? If he can catch the ball out of the field, and so can him. So it could be sharing the ball, guys getting screens, guys getting the thing, and you got the animal Brees Hall back there, man. Instant offense.
No,
I mean,
listen.
now that he can come out the backfield. And,
Yep. Yeah. Listen, Chris, this has been a phenomenal call from you.
I think that's going to solve itself.
No, listen, I hear you. This is great takes. Listen, this has been a phenomenal call from you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. It's always good to go back and forth and get your thoughts on this football
All
team.
right, bro. Yes,
All
sir.
right. You have
Thank
a good
you,
one.
Joe.
Absolutely, man. Listen, Chris calls in and he gives us his takes. He knows what he's talking about, man. Yeah. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Salutes to the Savages in the chat. Rusty says, Olu is very underrated. He's a blessing to us as the Ohio State Buckeye. I hated him, but, excuse me. Olu is very underrated. He's a blessing to us as the Ohio State Buckeye. I hated him, and that's a compliment. For those of you that don't know, I got a lot of Ohio State guys that are Savages. I love them all the same. As everyone knows, I'm an SC guy, but those guys let you know time and time again that they're Buckeyes. They start the conversation with, "Hey, we're Buckeyes." You meet them, they don't even tell you their name. You go, "Hey, how you doing?" "Buckeye." Damn. I'm just, huh? "Hey, how's it going?" "Ohio State." Like, wait a minute. Dude, I was just trying to say what's up. The Ohio State. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. We get it. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Salutes to all the Savages, man. Rusty also says Corey Brick Hands Davis can go kick his brick hands and pound sand. Ooh, or pound salt, excuse me. Ooh. Ooh, man. Salutes to all the Savages, man. Listen, we'll get back to these lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. Next, we're going to Justin. Justin's called in, and I know he's got some takes for us. Justin, salutes. I want to welcome you to the show, man. Listen, Justin. We've been talking that talk. Haason Reddick not at mandatory minicamps. He also missed his voluntary workout bonus as well. Didn't show up, hasn't been there all spring. What are your thoughts about it, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna first start. I just started tuning in 5 minutes ago. I just got back from dinner. I hear the nonsense is spewing already. I mean, you just said there's veterans on the market at the receiver position better than Corey Davis. Who? Can you name one? We don't have money like that. So I don't know about that Corey Davis take, because that was ice cold that there's, receivers on the market that are better than him at this point in time. I mean, that take is ice cold. So
how is the take ice cold, Justin? When Corey, first off, you are acting like Corey Davis. Hold on, you are acting like Corey Davis is some guy that is just a killer. Corey Davis barely played when he was here, and he was dropping footballs left and right. There are guys that are free agents that can come in and help the New York Jets at wide receiver. You're acting like Corey Davis is just some absolute killer. There are guys that are out there. There are guys that are out there that we be able to grab up.
Who?
The guy's moving and
Who's the
shaking
name?
out
Who's
there.
the name?
There's got
the name?
Michael Thomas is still out there. Michael Thomas is a guy that can come in. There's also Gage.
There's a
lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that be able to come in here.
Cool. I don't want him either.
Okay.
I want no part of Michael Thomas, but I don't even, to be honest, I think we're cool at receiver.
I'm not saying that Corey Davis should be here. If you listen to the call, like you said as well, the caller wanted Corey Davis. I think our wide receiver core is all right. I have no issues with it. But the idea of just adding Corey Davis to this wide receiver core is going to just magically turn things around, like he's going to come in and be our number two, is insane.
Receiver core. I mean, let's not sit here and act like he wouldn't help this receiving core. I mean, that's just,
how he doesn't play.
I can't agree with that.
How would he help us? He doesn't play. He does not play. He's always injured. How are you helping in the wide receiver core if you don't play?
Okay, so he doesn't play. All right, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion.
That's not an opinion.
I mean,
that is not an opinion. That is a fact. He's
play.
always hurt.
I mean, he misses games here and there. He's
here and there. He missed the first year that we got him. He was on IR. He missed a ton of time that year. The next year, it was the same thing. Your take is cold. Your take is cold.
I mean,
go ahead,
I
Justin.
don't know about that. I can't.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree, but
okay.
This notion and nonsense that I'm hearing. And by the way, I'll give you my take because I was at the OTAs today. This nonsense that people are crying over Haason Reddick is ridiculous at this point in time. It's just Joe Douglas. We're going to cry if Joe Douglas doesn't sign this guy. Then if he overpays him, we overpaid this guy. Like, come on. It's mandatory. Saleh said he spoke to him, whatever. The guy wants his money. So, I mean, come on. People are mad at this guy for what? There's teams, guys that are holding out every team. Amari Cooper, Tristan Wirfs. Well, he reported. I mean, it's not even training camp yet. There's 6 weeks to figure out that part of it's it. Like, what's the problem? I got no problem. And these people freaking out about Aaron Rodgers, that's another ridiculous thing. I mean, and by the way, the practice today was a joke. It was one of the worst practices I've seen live.
Okay.
They did no hitting. The D-line and the offensive line was not doing anything. I mean, it was bona fide worst OTA I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Okay, listen, this is Justin giving us his takes. He was there live. He's saying that was a terrible practice. I want to go back really quickly to what you were saying about Haason Reddick. You were saying that, hey, you're not upset with him wanting to get his money, right? You're not upset with that. You don't have any issues 100%. With him missing mandatory. So what are your thoughts?
At this point in time.
Okay. At this point in time, right? So what is your thoughts on the fact that Joe Douglas made a trade for a guy that he knew wanted a contract? He knew that there was issues already between him and the Eagles about a contract. He gives up capital, brings the guy in, and doesn't have something already ready to ensure that the same issues that Haason Reddick had with the Eagles, he won't have with the Jets. In a year that is a lot of people say a Super Bowl on bust. Do you think that was bad on Joe Douglas? Give me your thoughts.
I'm going to say this because I don't know if you saw the report that actually came out. The part where if the reports are true, what Connor Hughes is saying, they had an agreement that already in place that he's going to play on it this year and then worry about the deal next year.
Okay.
So if that report's true,
okay,
I can't blame Joe Douglas on that one. Maybe Haason, maybe you changed your mind or whatever it's taken out to be. It is what it is, though, at that point. I'm not going to fault Joe Douglas on this one. I can't do it. Not at this point.
Okay.
No way.
The report that I saw wasn't that they had an agreement on the deal. That's not the report that I saw. The report that I saw was that they had talked to his side and the Jets had gone back and forth, and the Jets let him know, hey, listen, he let them know, Haason Reddick's side let them know, hey, we want, a deal. We need a new deal here. And the Jets told them, hey, look, we're not saying that we're going to not, try to figure out a long-term situation with you, but let's wait on that. And that they felt comfortable going forward with that. Not saying that, hey, we got something agreed to and everything, because if
Right.
that was, I would think that they would have given him whatever it is he wants.
Right.
He's made it very clear. So the whole,
No, yeah.
they agreed on it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they agreed on that, but I am saying that
Yeah.
he made it clear from
Right.
day one, I want a deal. He's made that very, very clear. And
Yeah.
the Jets decided to go forward, even though, you know, they knew that. Okay. So I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, if Joe Douglas is making a move for a guy, no matter if you felt comfortable or not going forward, you should have figured something out, because now the switch has been flipped.
Okay.
He missed voluntary. He missed mandatory. You got to figure out how to get this guy a deal, because if he holds out and goes into the season, there's going to be some issues. I mean, give me your thoughts, Justin.
No, I agree with that. But the point that people are not understanding in this whole process is the cap space. The way he is going to try to get that deal done, or the way he should do it, is lower the cap hit. What is he at? 15.5, if I remember off the top of my head.
I think he's due 14.25 this year, I believe.
The cap hit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the part that we need to see is an extension from someone else also, whether it be Michael Carter. Me personally, this may sound crazy to a lot of people because, you know, these Bowers boys and whatever else, I would extend Conklin. Because you know what's going to happen, right? The same thing that's going to happen with all these other deals. Garrett Wilson's going to have a 1,400-yard season. Cool. Give me my money now.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is really, to be honest, this is like a thing about the precedent, because you have guys like Jermaine, Brees, Sauce. Like, if you, what does it say if you just? I get it. He's a proven veteran. You know, 29 years old, whatever. He has the pedigree in the league. But what does it say about the homegrown talent? That's where I'm more of a concerned.
Well,
Let these guys get out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm more concerned about the precedent, not so much the money itself.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Joe Douglas knew all of that when he signed for Haason Reddick. He knew that Garrett Wilson, Michael Carter II, Sauce Gardner, even AVT. People talking about everything. AVT needs a new deal coming up too. He knew all of that was coming.
Yeah.
So if you knew that, why'd you give up the capital to bring this guy in here that has made it very well known he wants a deal? Everybody knows it. The Eagles knew it. Everybody knew it. And you don't have something in place to make sure that this guy gets on the field and is happy. Like, I
get it, but I'm not really at this point in time. Like, deal's going to get done sooner or later.
You better get it done.
I don't think it.
You better get it done.
I'm not at this point in time. I'll be worried if we're going into second week, and to be honest with you, maybe not even second week of training camp. I mean,
what?
He's an edge rusher.
How he's not just an edge rusher though. He's not just an edge rusher though, Justin.
He's going to get done.
He's not just an edge rusher. This guy can play the run as well. He's in a new defense with new players. He's never been under Sulla before. This guy needs to be here.
Yeah, but this guy's a veteran.
And keep in mind, Justin, this is a Super Bowl or bust year. This is Super Bowl or bust. All the distractions, all that stuff, you've got to put all of that to the side, because if they do not achieve what a lot of Jets fans believe they should achieve this upcoming season, you know for a fact that this is going to be brought up.
Yeah.
You know it, just like I know it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No excuses. I said in the beginning, nothing. I don't care. Nothing that happened. No excuses.
All right.
He's there. He's not. No, that's it.
Okay.
That's all it is. Get it. Win games, or that's it. But yeah, no. The OTAs, there was really nothing impressive. Tyron they really didn't do too
give me
much
your thoughts on
team activity. Tyrod had a nice deep ball down the seam to Gary Wilson. I seen a little bit of stingers before the practice, before the team warm up. He was doing like a little one-on-one with some coaching. To be honest with you, that's a couple. There was a JVC a couple times, a little sighting with him. So he has a pulse officially. He has a pulse. His heart is beating. I don't know how fast. I'll check that. We'll tune in when we come to training camp. His heart may go in 5 miles an hour instead of 10, but you know, he's alive, he's breathing, so that's a good sign. Baby steps with him.
Let's go.
What else? Defensive line, they worked on the far field, so they were doing like conditioning. Offensive line, far field, they were hiding them. Izzy, he went down. He went inside. I don't know. There's no update on him.
Yeah.
He looked like he got shaken up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a little bit of special teams, but that was really it. It was really a vanilla practice. So It's funny seeing everyone freak out about this practice or whatever, but this practice I didn't really take too much of a grain of salt with this practice, to be honest with you. I think tomorrow and then the last day are going to be like heavy ramp-up days. So maybe that's what Saleh was thinking when he did that, thinking, oh, Rodgers is not here. Brees didn't practice at all, too. So maybe he was thinking, oh, we're going to have a heavy second and third day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. Oh, no, actually, this is one standout that I love.
Yeah, go ahead, quickly. Go ahead.
It was hard with the linebackers, but Sherwood looks like he's looking a little bit faster this year.
Finally.
So this year we see a Sherwood breakout.
Yeah.
I'd keep an eye on that. That was like the only thing I really noticed with him. He looks like he's starting to put it together, which is good because I thought we should have seen that maybe last year.
Yep.
4 for him. This is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought we should have seen that a little bit more. So that was interesting, but that's really all I got. Nothing too crazy. The Jets fans just need to, relax, breathe, and,
All right.
We'll see what these next 6 weeks holds.
Yeah. Listen, Justin, it was a phenomenal call. I got to shut things down because we're getting short on time. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. I really like your report from what you saw at practice, man.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
Go Jets.
All right. Go Jets. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Listen, we're going back and forth, all right? Having great calls. Salutes to everybody that called in. We're getting short on time. You know your boy be getting hated on by Blog Talk, okay? Sometimes they don't work. Then the other times they're trying to shut me down. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to Dano. Dano says Corey Davis versus the idea of Corey Davis. I'm telling you, there's guys that are better. He played 9 games the first year he was here, and then the second year he was here, he played 13. That guy was hurt all the time. All the time. All the time. He never even had over 600 yards the whole season. He never had over that. He never had over 550 since he was a New York Jet. Nothing. The most he ever had was 530-something yards since he was here. Come on, guys. Come on. I got to shut this down, all right? It's been great talking to everybody. It's been a phenomenal show. I want to thank all the callers, all right, and all the savages in the chat, all right? Salutes. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also, on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, all right? Follow me, I'll follow you right back, okay? If you want to troll me, no issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, okay? He needs a new deal, too. He needs a new deal, too, okay? We'll see what's up, all right? That 5th-year option came in handy, okay? But he's going to be back this year destroying people. Fight on, okay? He'll be at camp, according to Sella, all right? So come on by the Twitter at The Long Beach Joe, and me and AVT will be under that bridge trolling, okay? I'm also on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Also, get in the comments, okay? Troll, let's go back and forth and give the videos a thumbs up, okay? And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing, okay? No matter what anyone tells you. I want to thank you folks for listening. Thank you folks for watching. Thank you folks for getting involved with the show any way that you do, all right? I absolutely appreciate y'all. Without y'all, I am absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day, all right, to interact with your boys. So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. 1 second, folks. Pow. All right, I should be back. Listen, for those of you that are new, all right. All right. That is exclamation point links bring up my link tree. My link tree has the links to all of my social media platforms, okay? I also want to thank everybody for watching and listening to the show. It's phenomenal going back and forth with y'all. I have a lot of fun doing this, okay? Hit that link tree for those of you that are new. That link tree has the links to all of my social media platforms. Also has the links to my other YouTube pages that I have. I have a reaction channel. Reactions are up. There are more reactions coming soon. We be laughing at fools on the internet. I'm keeping it real, okay? So come on over there, get involved with everything that I'm doing, and subscribe and like the videos over there, okay? And also subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Share it across your social media with your friends and family as well, okay? We have a lot of fun here. This show is year round, okay? It's June. It's June 11th, and your boy's still doing shows because we do Jet shows year round here, okay? Try to do a show at least once a week, but my schedule is wild. Everyone knows that. Salutes to all the savages as well. I'm sure y'all got crazy schedules too, but my schedule is very wild, okay? So here's the deal. Again, if you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, press all so you get all the notifications. Also, if you follow me across my social media, when I do shows, I announce it hours before that I'm going to do the show, so you will know. Come on, we have a lot of fun doing this. So please follow me across all of my social media platforms and subscribe to the channel to keep in tune with what your boy is doing here. Talking about these Jets and have a lot of fun. Also, you do not have to be a Jets fan to call into the show, but keep in mind we do clearly bleed green here. Y'all see these two gentlemen next to me, so we talk about the Jets here, but we do talk about football as well. And I always like to get perspective of people that are not Jets fans that call in from the outside looking in, right? This is the number to the show right here. I had a person. I'm not even going to say that. Don't. For those of you that are confused about what the number to the show is, it's right here. Okay, that's literally the number to the show. All right. That number does not change unless Blog Talk doesn't work. I've got to start saying that because Blog Talk sucks. But if Blog Talk does suck and it doesn't work, there's other ways I take calls as well, and y'all will be notified of that. Please call in. I take all callers. When you call in, please make sure you have a good phone. Don't call me from a phone that you found in a Home Depot dumpster that doesn't work and has bad signal, because I'm just going to have to move on from you. If I can't hear you, my audience can't hear you, what can I do? There's nothing I can do, okay? There's nothing I can do, all right? I need to be able to hear you, all right? Also, when you call in, please know that I do not allow cursing on my show, okay? I'll ask you to, correct it if you do it once, but if it's bad or you keep going, I'll just hang up on you, all right? I'm not with that. This is a family show. I have young people that listen to me. I have old people that listen to me. And this is YouTube as well. YouTube is very sensitive, and I love YouTube, okay? I love YouTube, all right? And I don't want that over here. So don't call into my show cursing. And I know I don't have to tell my, audience that. You folks are extremely smart. You can definitely, make your thoughts known and speak without having to use, vulgar language. I know that, but I have to put that out there so that everyone knows. I can't have that here. So we have a lot of fun. Come on over. We also do live watch-alongs during the year, where we'll watch a game together, and then directly after the game, we'll sit down and have a live radio show right after. And boy, those shows are wild. No cursing, but people have no issues letting it be known how they feel about certain things, okay? Also, for those of you that are confused too, one of the things that some people like to do, especially a lot of the people that you'll hear get on earlier, this number right here, my shows generally start at 7 p.m. Eastern on whatever day I'm going to do it, right? They start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The phone lines to the show, though, if Blog Talk works, open before 7 p.m. Eastern. So what a lot of people will do is they'll call in at 6:50 p.m. Eastern, right? They'll wait on the line about 10 minutes. I'll come on. I'll cover the topics. Today we had a lot of topics, so it took me a little bit of time, but generally it takes me like 5, maybe 10 minutes, cover the topics really quickly, and then I come straight to the lines because I want to talk to the people. So what they'll do is they'll call in at 6:50 or something like that and just wait on the lines. And then that's how they get on earlier. I'm not telling you who's doing that. It's Rusty and Val. I'm not saying who's doing it. It's Rusty and Val. So it's not illegal at all. You're welcome to do that. I have no issues whatsoever with you doing that. But I just put it out there that you can call in earlier to get on the show earlier. But keep in mind, okay, when you call in, no matter when you call in, I can see you. I will get to you, okay? All you got to do is just wait. My hold times are not long at all. They're really not, all right? I generally give, people 5 to 8 minutes to get, their thoughts and stuff out. I always give, my callers the last word because I want to hear from you. So if you call in, just be patient. If I do not know you by name as well when you call in, okay? Excuse me. If I do not know you by name, I will call out your area code. Please know what your area code is, okay? I had an issue some time back with a person, okay? I'll never say who this person is, but there was a person that thought that I had blocked them from calling into the show, which I didn't. And they were very upset because they were like, you don't want, my smoke. You don't want to hear my takes, Joe. You're running from me. And I said, listen, person, okay, I'm not running from you. I want to hear from you. You got a lot of anger. Is this your area code? And the person said, I don't know. I told the person, this is where you live, right? Like, this is your city. And they went, oh, yeah, that is. I said, then that's your area code. So when you call in and I say your area code, right, and you don't say nothing, what can I do but move on? And they went, oh, that's what yeah. Please know what your area code is, okay? If you don't know what your area code is, right, then come on, man. Or person. All right? Like, come on. All right? Rusty says, allegations, Joe. All allegations. Yeah, right. Listen, when Blog Talk works, I can prove this if Blog Talk works, right? Y'all lucky that Blog Talk don't always be working. But it's not illegal. Again, it's not illegal, okay? You can do it. Anybody can do it. I think the lines open at 6:50. I've been told they open way before that. I've been told, Joe, you're never going to catch us. Joe, you're never going to catch us. Don't worry about it. We're going to be on that line, okay? And look, I welcome it. I want to hear from everybody, okay? I also welcome different opinions and thoughts, too. I know there's some people that I've spoken to that was like, man, I was afraid. I don't know what to say. Listen, just call in and talk. I just want to hear your thoughts. That's it. All right? I have my own thoughts. I can sit up here all day and talk about my thoughts on the team. But I want to hear your thoughts. I will challenge your opinion. Okay? I will do that. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to go crazy on people. If you have a thought that's different than mine, hey, I want to hear it. All right? But I will challenge your takes, especially if it's really wild. I'll definitely challenge it. But I'm definitely going to allow you to get your thoughts out and to get your take out. I'm not going to cut you off and go crazy. That's not what I do. All right. I want to have that back and forth, and I want to hear from you. All right. He didn't know his area. The person didn't know their area code. And I mean, they were furious, like furious. I'm talking mad. Joe, you blocked me. Joe, I can't believe it. Joe, I said, hey. Oh, I didn't really know that. Oh, I've been saying that. Oh, man, I feel bad. Yeah, know your area code. All right. Also, when you call in, no crazy background noise either. I'll move on from you for that as well. So please clear your background of noise. I know people listen to me at work and all that stuff, and I love it. Some people have called in from their jobs to, talk to your boy about the team. I love that. Okay. Get your money. I respect it, and talk to your boy Joe. But if you're on a jackhammer at the construction site, put the jackhammer down and then, talk to your boy after you put that jackhammer down. All right. And then get back to the jackhammer and do your job. All right. But I need to hear you. It needs to be clear of background noise. All right. So, also we game on this channel from time to time when I have time. My schedule has been crazy. Street Fighter, all kinds of stuff. Excuse me. Yo, Street Fighter 6 sucks, bro. I'm sorry. Street Fighter 6 sucks. I do not like any of the new characters either. I don't like Elena. I don't like Street Fighter 6. They have got to get this together. It is year 2, and you guys are putting Terry Bogard. I don't care about him. I don't care about I don't care about. Stop. Why can't we have more Third Strike characters in this game? Why is Dudley not in this game? Why is Hugo not in this game yet? Even outside of Third Strike, like why aren't we seeing other characters that people have been clamoring for? Viper, C Viper, you know, why are we worried about crossing over into other franchises and bringing people over? Just stop. All right? I already don't like the drive rush system, but then you don't have a character that I care about? Like, bro. Street Fighter 6 sucks, man. It sucks. But we play other games, GTA, play Streets of Rage, whatever. All right? Street Fighter 6 has got to get it together because so far it's been very disappointing to me. Very disappointing. All right? Very disappointing. All right? For me personally. All right? Not a character that I care about in that game whatsoever. All right? So we play video games, and so come on in if you see that and join your boy and say what's up. All right? Salutes to all the savages. All right? Salutes to Rusty. Rusty says, learn your area and zip codes, people. I'm telling you, that you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Salutes to you, Rusty. Rusty says some people need to play that old school computer game. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Yeah, it's crazy. Salutes to Rusty. Always good to see you in the building. All right. Dane, always good to see you in the building as well. Salutes to everybody, man, that came on by. NY Jets FL, always good to see you in here too. You know, salutes to everybody that says what's up. Bree, always good to see you in the building as well. All right. Captain K, salutes. Always good to see you too. Gangrene David, always good to see you, around, man, and coming on by and saying what's up. Just salutes to everybody that stopped by. Jets Mess, Michael Piper. Always good to see y'all in the building, man, and have that discussion and go back and forth with y'all. And even, again, the savages in the chat, it's always good to, have that discussion and go back and forth with y'all as well. When I come to that chat, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, I'm here for it all. So I got to get out of here, folks, because my schedule is wild. Listen, be safe. Okay. Be safe. Listen, this world is getting crazy. Okay. This world is getting crazy, and don't ask me why it's happening, but it's happening. Okay. Be safe. Sit down with your friends and your family. All right. Eat some good food, watch some good TV. Make those moments and those memories with them, and let the people that you love know that you love them. All right? It's important to me in my life. I hope it's important to you in yours, because you never know. That's true, man. You never know.